with this is a book called Soul of the World, Unlocking the Secrets of Time by Christopher Dughney. Have any of you read this? It's a super book. Anyway, this particular little paragraph is called No Time Like the Present. Despite the suppleness of time in the cosmos, each of us knows viscerally, absolutely, that it is only the present. We cannot travel into the future and change things, nor can we travel into the past and change anything there. We are harnessed to the present moment. Even though we know our memories are real, from the perspective of the present, our personal past might as well be illusions. We can never go back to revisit them. The past is locked away from us. Our discovery of photography, film, and video has made the past more tantalizingly vivid. But no matter how much physical evidence we collect, the photographs on our walls, the souvenirs on our desk, we cannot actually touch the past. This is our tragedy and our liberation. How eternally reinvented we are. The future is also opaque to us. In a sense, we walk backwards into the future and see the present with a kind of peripheral vision. Anyway, so obviously, this is a very emotional talk for me, because what I did was I went into, my cry. I have an architect's cabinet where I had stashed everything. I've been in the country for 10 years and I've moved around a lot, but there are certain parts of my life that I've kept with me. And I'm going to start at this end of the room over here. These are pictures I found in an architect's cabinet, as I said, and I've been deciding which images to show you about my past. I was really young when I drew these, but the interesting thing about this was a page from one of my writing books at school, and it's a picture of a herd of horses galloping in the sunset. It's very romantic, with a fence, and anyway, writing book, so I didn't do much English. And I've got lots of pictures of on squared paper, so I didn't do much in math either. Didn't do much in any class, so I've got lots of that. Quite interesting. This piece of paper that I found, I decided to put in because, again, it's a picture of a horse. That's a theme. But the piece of paper on is from the University of South Africa, which is a correspondence university, which my mother was studying at when I was young. So I didn't see much of her. She worked a lot. We had a maid, and she was studying as well. It was all admirable things. But this piece of paper is from that university with a picture of a horse on, so it's kind of a little piece of my past there. It was quite cool. Anyway, horses. This is a picture of an eyeball. It's very romantic. I'm heading towards the teens now. And in the middle of the eyeball, you can come up and have a look later, it's black, right? But if you get up close, there's an even darker patch that's the shape of a horse. Real. And it's shiny, and I was experimenting with materials. You see my pencil work's getting better, by the way, you know? But experimenting with materials, and the shiny on there is clear nail polish. Yeah, I know. I was so excited the day I discovered that. So I was looking back at all these things and thinking, I've always just tried to see what you can do with materials, even if you're not supposed to do them. I was very proud of this. When I went in South Africa, we go to high school at the age of 12. We moved into this primary school and high school. There's no middle school. First year of high school, the school did Josephine's Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat, and they had a competition. And I was the youngest grade in the school, and I won the competition with this. And my picture was on the program. And then an older girl came second, and even older girl came third. So I was pretty proud of myself for winning that one. Then I started, I went to Johannesburg Art Ballet Drama and Music School. And to get into that, I had to make a portfolio and had to do a wooden chair. So for the first time in my life, I didn't draw a horse. I swear. This is one of the first images I could find. I've got a pile there. If it isn't a horse, sweetie, it's a zebra. Horse with stripes. I've got this big pile. I'm just thinking, oh my God, This is another thing about your life. You look back and who are the most important people in your life? This one woman, her name was Mrs. Dupree. She had a thyroid problem and she had really googly eyes and she used to shake. So we used to make fun of her, and I feel terrible now because she was one of the most important people ever in my painting career. She taught me so much about painting. And this painting here doesn't look like much, but it was me finally getting it. What painting is about. We didn't trace, we had to draw from life, and it was a blue chair, and I started seeing the light on the chair coming through the window, and it was yellow, and it was blue, and it was all sorts of different colors other than blue that made this blue chair, and I was just like, I get it. So it's not a very good painting, but this is one of my aha moments in my life. Yes. And then my husband, Christopher, then boyfriend, then didn't know him at all, actually arrived at the school to do ballet. And I stopped painting horses and started painting him. This is the first painting that I did of my husband when I was in grade 11. Yes. He's now my husband, he was just my boyfriend, as I said, yes. But we're still together. And the reason I'm showing you all of these is I'm very literal. Very literal. All of these things I've chosen because I love horses, I love horses, I love horses, I love horses. I had to paint a chair. There was no reason other than me just working on my skill, my abilities to draw. I've got a lot of life drawing here from school as well. It's just me working on my ability to draw. And over the years I've done some self-portraits and they've evolved, and I'm going to show you them in a minute. But I went to ExhibitVic when I arrived in the country, and I did a master's in art education. And all of a sudden they were starting to ask me all sorts of why questions. Why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? What's the reason? And so I started looking at my past and what it meant to me and what being here is compared to being there. And I did this series of paintings here, and I did 10 panels with 10 blocks. I made 100. And I made 100 because it's a percentage. So I started to make things a certain way for a certain reason. And I started with these things here. Come on, I'll put that one out. These actually are photographs of malaria eggs in water. And then I started thinking that these things are these coils from mosquito coils. They're actually really beautiful shapes. I passed them around and I started making things that, so it's still very literal actually, but it becomes more abstract because of the fact that it doesn't have recognizable imagery in it as such. And I come from Johannesburg, and the main industry in Johannesburg is gold mining. And there are hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of mine tunnels underneath Johannesburg. We have trailers all the time when they're blasting under the mines. And there's mine shafts, and I come from a little town called Benoni, which means son of my sorrow. It's so funny the things you remember here. I learned that at school. And the biggest thing in Benoni was the big mine dump, and it was, I don't think you have anything nearly as big here. I can't think of anything. No, Mount Douglas doesn't even come close. Doesn't come close. It was massive. It was massive. This big, ugly slag heap was the main feature of the town. So gold and all the things associated with it, for me, the aids on the gold mines, they're not as pretty as gold. So for me, when I put this in my paintings, started to mean something totally different than